Join me in welcoming Zeinab El Ghatit. Hey Zeinab, how you doing today?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. So you have book three of your fun series as the truck drives by outside.
Yeah.
It is called Rhapsody of Love, a spiritual journey from Rumi to oneness with all. Tell us a little bit about, first, just about who you are as a person.
Well, I am a retired clinical psychologist and a life coach. Now, since 1994, I've been converted my life to writing poetry, especially Sufi poetry, spiritual poetry, and I have at least 9 books. 4 of them are on iTunes, and 2 on best-selling on Amazon. Hopefully, this will be another bestseller.
Perfect. So this book, Rhapsody of Love, what inspired this for you?
What inspired it is the lockdown. When we were in lockdown, I joined the Clubhouse. It's a wonderful social media like Facebook and so on, but it's so nice because it really answered the boredom that we were experiencing during lockdown. And what it is, it's a very interactive social media. So you see pictures of people and you hear their voice, but you don't see them. So you could be sleeping, you could be in your nightgown, but you can still talk. And so you develop relationships through that. So I happen to have bumped into 3 beautiful rooms there. One of them is called Pause, Breathe, and Reflect, hosted by Michael O'Brien. And that was more for meditation. And the second one was the Miracle Morning, which is Hal Elrod with his the Miracle Morning books and movement, and it's talking about savers, which are things that you do in the morning, like you have silence, you have meditation, you have affirmations, you have gratitude, you write, you journal, and you exercise. So if he found that if the most successful people did that early in the morning, and so they had a very comfortable and successful life. So that was one that really helped me develop my voice and talking in public and so on, because before that I was a little bit shy as a psychologist and a coach. So that helped. And then there are the third room, which was by Chris Delaney, and it was more deep emotional work. And that has the meditation, which is love, intention, vision, and embodiment. So all of them were really deep psychological and work, which was very interesting to me. There was another room also by the fathers of the African fathers in America, which was interesting, talking about Africa and the proverbs of Africa. There are rooms on gratitude. It's just a wonderful social media, and it's by invitation only. So that prompted me to sort of pay back the people who loved me and supported me and helped me a lot.
I love that. So, what is the intent of Rhapsody of Love?
The intent is, first of all, as I put in there, that the research shows that we change every day because there are almost 330 billion cells that change in our bodies every day. So each one of us is entitled to 3.5 use every year. So multiply that by my age, so I have about 310 use. So you change so much that change is possible. And it happened to me during a meditation. I was feeling blocked. And, the joy that I experienced when I was 25 before marriage and all that sort of disappeared during that meditation. And I regained my sense of humor, my laughter, my joyful self again. So it just shows you that in an instant you can change, and change is possible. The other things I talked about are the strategies that helped me in my spiritual journey in Sufism. And what helped me were those 6 strategies, the strategies I talked about. And they describe what you really have to take care of in your spiritual journey, like First thing is you have to have a clean heart to receive the spiritual messages you get from God or the universe or whatever. And you have to have gratitude. You have to put God as central in your life or the universe or whatever. And you have to remember the love and the influencers in your life, because then I didn't realize I had met so many people like Helen Keller, like Dr. Martin, like, Virgin Mary. I had so many visions of Virgin Mary. Having Rumi in my life was very, very important. The other thing is that you have to surrender. You have to let go and let God or the universe, because you can't really control anything. You really don't. You can only control very, very little. The rest, you just have to let it go and relax and just let things happen. Be in the moment. Don't think of the past. Don't think of the future. Just live in your moment now. That's the only thing. And of course, there are qualities that a seeker of inspiration and illumination needs to have. All of the other things that are expected of us all, but in particular, humility, that you can't be arrogant like Satan, when he was too arrogant to bow to Adam and all that. You can't be arrogant. You have to be content with your lot in life. And you have to be giving in God's. The more you give and the more you offer gratitude, the more you get. It's just a fact of life. And like someone like Tony Robbins were talking once about having only $19 in his pocket, and he saw someone in need. He gave them to him. Next day, he received a 12,000 check from someone. He didn't owe them money or something. So that's the gist of the book, and I hope to do some challenges and explain to people more, either through a mastermind or some mini courses or something like that.
I love that. Now, the book has 6 strategies in it.
Yeah.
And of course, they got to get the book to be able to learn all 6 of those. But pick out your favorite one and tell us one of those strategies.
Well, the one that I really think is fundamental and important is the cleansing of the heart. To cleanse your heart, you have to begin by forgiveness. You have to forgive everybody, even your enemies, because your enemies are your best teachers. You learn from your enemies more than you learn from your friends, because everyone who meets us as on our path is a teacher. So cleansing the heart, you begin with forgiveness and self-love and self-compassion. You cannot love others if you don't love yourself. And I mean by love, not just love, but having an empathy for your suffering. Like, we all have things that bother us. And if I love you and I don't empathize with your suffering, that's not love. The love is to know Zizi has this problem, I feel for her. And it's usually your inner child that you have to empathize with. Like, we all have an inner child inside. And I talked once about my son was playing the guitar. And at that time, I must have been 50. And all of a sudden, I went in a trance, and I saw myself as a child, 1 year, paralyzed in bed. And I saw my parents coming in from Europe. And I couldn't believe how they were so distracted and in anguish. So for that moment, I felt for my little child there, the poor Zizi who was paralyzed from the head down. And I empathized with my parents. Before that, I had thought in my mind they didn't care. And we never discussed this at all until I was 50. Can you imagine? So when I had this trance, I found my forgiveness to them overflowed. And from that, love for everything. My whole personality changed after this. I become more an embodiment of love for everybody. So you care for your inner child and you care for your body. I used to hate my body because, after all, when I was limping, people were making fun of me. They were making me feel like I was actually physically abused also from the treatments and so on. So I didn't have a good concept of my body. I thought my body was interfering with me and was the evil that was destroying my life. But then when I matured a bit and understood things, I realized that I couldn't do anything without my body. And I started taking care of it and loving it and really loving myself. So I think that three critical things here are the forgiveness, the self-love, and taking care of that inner child. Taking care of it. That's the main one, I think.
I love that. Absolutely. So, for somebody that wants to begin their spiritual journey today, what is step one? What do we do to just start out on that journey towards our oneness with all?
That's the forgiveness.
Okay.
Absolutely. You have to start by making a list of the places, of the people, of the foods, everything you don't like in your life. And then you start maybe in the mirror, gradually every day you look in the mirror and say, I forgive you, Zizi, for disliking this. You forgive yourself for not liking these people first. And ask for forgiveness, even if these people are dead. You pretend they're in front of you and say, Dad, please forgive me. I didn't understand, or mother, or sister, or friend, or enemy. And you pretend that they're in front of you and you're asking them for forgiveness. And if you're angry with someone so badly, I suggest that you take a paper and pencil and start writing in the worst language possible that you don't want anybody to know. And then after that, you tear up the paper, burn it, and just get rid of it, throw it in the air and get rid of that anger. And then start the forgiveness and ask for forgiveness. Then
That
after
is
you
so good.
forgive people, you will start loving yourself more.
That is so good. The book is called Rhapsody of Love, A Spiritual Journey from Rumi to Oneness with All. It is available today for free on Amazon. So if you want to get the ebook for free today, you can. I did just put the link in the comments. It's also in the description. Zeinab, if somebody wants to go deeper with you, they want to be part of that mastermind or do coaching with you, how do they get in contact with you?
Well, they can contact me on Instagram or on Facebook or on Messenger. They can DM me that on Instagram or Messenger would be the easiest thing. And I also have a website. I think I included it in the book.
Do you know off the top of your head your website address?
It's a dialogue with the beloved at gmail.com.
Perfect. I love that. Well, Zeinab, I really appreciate you spending some time with us here on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. Thanks, Steve.